السلام عليكم وحياكم الله. اليهود في البحرين لهم علاقات جدا جميلة وجيدة مع التجار ومع الأهالي. تعالوا نسمع الشهادات هذه من اليهود أنفسهم.
The Jews and the Muslims had very good relations during the time of the, for example, of the Farhud, when there was the creation of the state of Israel. The Bahraini Muslims helped the Jews. They actually took them into their houses, they looked after them, they protected them. It wasn't the Bahraini Muslims who created the issues for the Jewish people. It was people from outside of Bahrain. It was not the locals, it was people from outside. And that's made very clear in Charles Belgrave's book. So we've always lived together. Our best friends were always from the Muslim communities, from the Hindu communities. We never saw each other as anything different. My father, his best friends, of course, were Muslims. We worked together, and when he passed away, for the time that we take our condolences, we had the present king, his father, Amir Sheikh Isa bin Salman al Khalifa, came to visit our house. The late Prime Minister, Prince Khalifa bin Salman al Khalifa, also came to our house. And their brother, Sheikh Mohammed, also came to our house. So it was a time when we were there for weddings, we were there for marriages and weddings. We were also there in the sad times, when there was a death, we would all get together. In our festivals, we would also come in together, and we'd have people come into us. We'd celebrate iftar with them. They would come and celebrate our festivals with us. So we were always together, and we were one community.
في بعد مرة باسم تفاحة. الحين تفاحة is a common name, so many people تفاحة. My grandmother was called تفاحة, and Huda, I think your second name is تفاحة. So we have lots of تفاحas. The famous تفاحة I think you're referring to is the teacher. There was one تفاحة who was a teacher, and she is the mother of the Murad children, the Murad family. The Murad family are the agents of Rolex in Bahrain. They own a modern art studio. The father was called Najib Murad, and the mother was called Tafah. So if you're referring to her, she was the one who was the famous Tafah because she was اجتماعية. She mixed with the local families, and she knew all the local families.
We started renovating the synagogue in February of 2020. In February of 2021, the synagogue was ready. So we actually started the renovations before the Abraham Accords. It wasn't because of the Abraham Accords that we started it. At the beginning, it was meant to be a museum of the Bahraini Jewish history. And then we signed the Abraham Accords, and we decided that we needed to have a synagogue. So we have put some things that show like the old pictures of the Bahraini Jews, the deeds, but we left it as a praying place. We had the first minyan of like 10 men in the synagogue. We had in 2019, where there was a workshop in Bahrain. But last weekend, the 20th of August, we actually had our first Shabbat service, and we were able to bring our Torah out. We had over 10 men. We had the synagogue was actually full. There was not a seat that was empty, and we used the Torah that Jared Kushner presented to His Majesty the King in the name of the Jewish community of Bahrain. And you can see the Torah. It says, "In honor of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa al Khalifa, for his vision, courage, and leadership, bringing peace, respect, and religious tolerance to the Middle East." It's dated June the 25th, 2019, Jared Kushner. So you can see the date is even before the Abraham Accords. It's the date that he actually first came to Bahrain for the Peaceful Prosperity Workshop. We also had our first bar mitzvah in Bahrain. So the bar mitzvah is when a boy of 13 becomes a man and he's called up to read from the Torah. That was the first bar mitzvah in Bahrain since 2005. And it was the first bar mitzvah in the synagogue since 1947. So it was an amazing event, and we had Bahrainis also with us here.
ما خلصنا مع اليهود في البحرين، المفاجأة الكبرى بنشوفها في الحلقة القادمة. مع السلامة.